past few years, we have seen a significant increase in girl power movies, and almost none of them have done well. But the next to release, Madam Web, is getting absolutely destroyed by the internet. And Variety recently put out a most anticipated movies list for 2024, and they listed this very close to the top, and people are wrecking them over it. I have a few different things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, follow me on social media, and consider supporting through Patreon or via YouTube memberships. Now, I love a good movie with a lead female actress, don't get me wrong, but this movie seems like it is going to most likely be a very cringy girl power film. Of course, this movie makes a lot of changes from the character's comic book counterparts, most notably Madam Web. They decided they wanted to age this character down and have a younger version of her because, of course, they wanted to hire a younger, good-looking actress to try to attempt to market this to the men in the comic book sphere, but also the women who are looking at, a beautiful actress like Dakota Johnson, other actresses that are in it like Sydney Sweeney, and they were probably hoping that this was going to appeal to everybody, that everybody was going to love it, but we have seen girl power movies time and time again fail, and I don't think that this is going to be any different. Let's just take a quick peek at the first audience reactions to the trailer. The trailer went up a month ago. It's got 20 million views, not too shabby, but it's got 106,000 likes to 183,000 dislikes, so almost double the amount of dislikes to likes, which most certainly is not something that you would want to see on a trailer for a movie you've spent millions and millions of dollars for. We do not know the exact budget, but one would assume this isn't a cheap movie, just judging by the cast. I mean, Sydney Sweeney is a Hollywood it girl right now. Dakota Johnson hasn't been in much over the years, but the very specific roles she chooses typically end up being larger ones, and they all were probably hoping that this was going to be the start of something new and something big for them. I personally didn't think that that was going to happen after they announced all of the changes that they were making, but it's another girl power movie that Hollywood is trying yet again that will most likely fail like the others. But now Variety has put out their end of the year list talking about, for 2024, their most anticipated films, and 2024 does seem like it's going to be a pretty big year since a lot of movies in 2023 were delayed because of things like the strikes, and now, of course, a lot of pieces of content are in, the editing phase, and they've already recorded and filmed, and they're gonna get them out soon, hopefully, we'll see. But it says the movie, which stars Dakota Johnson and Sydney Sweeney, is set to premiere on February 14th, a nice Valentine's Day movie. Valentine's Day does tend to be a pretty good, Q1 release date, not too shabby. But their list of most anticipated movies is just not a good one, and that is why they are getting roasted over it. Now, number one is the Mean Girls reboot. Oh, such a bad idea. There's absolutely no way they could do a good remake of the iconic original movie from 2004. I just don't think that this is going to, go over very well. Number two is Argylle. This is a movie I personally am pretty excited for because, of course, Henry Cavill is in it, Samuel L. Jackson is in it, Bryce Dallas Howard. I mean, there is a star-studded cast with this film, and hopefully it will be decent. But their number three is Madam Web. It says it stars Dakota Johnson as the character, a clairvoyant paramedic who develops the ability to see into the future. She then must try and survive deadly forces with three women. I mean, this is the Marvels all over again. The only difference here is that none of these actresses are extremely controversial. Of course, going into something like the Marvels, you had Brie Larson, who many people hated. I mean, millions of people have watched, videos about her, the interviews that she's gone into, read the things that she said about her co-stars. I mean, just how egotistical she is. So that movie, faced issues because of Brie Larson, but also nobody particularly cared about Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau, and Miss Marvel teaming up. These are three characters who did not really have any synergy together. Also, the actresses just did not click, in my opinion. There wasn't really a lot of connection with them. They tried to make it this big emotional movie, but it just did not work, in my opinion, and obviously many other people's opinions. But we have seen, boss girl movies fail time after time after time. I mean, the Marvels, which did, yes, recently come out, which is going to be directly compared to Madam Web, is sitting at a 43 top critic, a 61 all critic, a 83 verified audience, which is so hard to believe, and an all audience score of 69%. This was one of the worst movies I have seen in a long time. It truly was just a disaster. I highly recommend you save your money and do not watch it in any way, shape, or form if you have to pay for it. And honestly, I wouldn't even watch it if it was free, but people are roasting Variety for trying to get people hyped for this movie, saying things like most anticipated. Have we redefined the word anticipated now too? Yeah, I have seen no positive hype surrounding this movie, and maybe there are people out there who are genuinely excited for it. That's awesome. I hope you watch this. I hope you really like it. But I am not going to be watching another girl power movie or getting excited for it. It says they're trying to appeal to an audience, women who are never going to go out in droves to watch this movie. I think that they are definitely trying to get women interested in these characters, and as a woman who is, mildly interested in seeing more movies about comic book characters, I don't think that they're bad. I definitely think, though, that superhero fatigue is real. This just isn't what I personally would have wanted. If they had actually stuck with the older clairvoyant Madam Web and actually tried to highlight an older actress in this role, I thought that that would have been really, really cool. But instead they decided to replace her with a younger actress because of course they wanted to hire a Hollywood team of it girls. It says anticipated by who bookmarking. I'll be back February 28th or so to see how this tweet aged. I don't think it's going to age particularly well, just because I don't think this movie is going to do all that good at the box office. There's zero hype behind it on social media. At least at this point in time, it's a little bit over a month, and it's a little bit over a month away. It's like a month and a half away. And I really have not seen a lot of people talking about it except for this trailer, which is getting absolutely roasted. I just do not think that this is going to do exactly what they're hoping. I do not think that there are going to be women, younger or older comic book fans or not, going out in droves to see films like this. And it just proves that Hollywood and the creatives that they're picking for these projects do not understand their target audience. Having a target audience for something is not bad, but the target audience of women in general is not working for movies like this. Again, we've seen it with something like the Marvels, all of the shows like She-Hulk and Miss Marvel. They are just not working, and you would think that these creatives would look at, the track record of female-centric comic book projects and go, well, these movies aren't particularly doing all that well, so I think that it's time that we kind of shift away from that for a little bit, and they should be appealing to the men, which, did make the comic book films extremely popular. And if you're a woman who happens to, want to see this, that's great, and you should go and see it. But as a woman myself, I have little to no interest in this movie, and I am directly in that target audience that they're hoping to grab the attention of with this film. We'll have to see. Maybe, it'll do really good. Maybe it will shock us all. But at this point, judging by the reception currently, I highly doubt it. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this and of course found it important and informative, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.